Hello, and welcome to American English Daily. Take a moment to slow down. Wherever you are right now, just pause for a second. Let your mind settle, and allow yourself to focus on the sound of English. Today, you are not just learning phrases. You are learning how to think, how to react, and how to communicate naturally. Many learners spend years studying grammar. They memorize rules, structures, and vocabulary lists. But when it comes to real conversations, they hesitate. Not because they lack knowledge, but because they are not used to thinking in English. That is exactly what you are going to train today. Let's begin with something simple. A phrase you will hear almost every day. How's it going? This expression is more than just a greeting. It creates a connection. It invites a response. It opens the door to conversation. Imagine you walk into a place where you see someone familiar. You don't stop to think about grammar. You simply say it. How's it going? The tone is relaxed. The rhythm is natural. There is no pressure. The response is just as important. I'm doing pretty good. Notice something here. You are not trying to impress anyone. You are simply expressing how you feel. Now let's build a moment around this. You meet someone after a long day. The energy is calm, slightly tired, but still positive. How's it going? I'm doing pretty good, just a bit busy today. That sentence carries information. But more importantly, it carries feeling. Now let's go a little deeper. What are you up to? This is not just a question. It is an invitation. It allows the other person to share something about their life. Even something small. You might hear a response like, "Not much, just taking it easy." That phrase, "taking it easy," adds emotion. It paints a picture. It tells you more than just the action. Now imagine a quiet afternoon. You are sitting somewhere comfortable. Maybe with a cup of coffee. Someone asks, "What are you up to?" And you respond naturally. "Not much, just taking it easy." This is real communication. Now let's continue. Sounds good. This phrase is extremely powerful. Because it keeps conversations moving. Instead of analyzing or overthinking, you respond smoothly. Let's meet later. Sounds good. Simple. Effective. Natural. Now consider another situation. Someone explains something to you. You listen carefully. You understand the idea. And you respond. That makes sense. This phrase does something important. It shows understanding. It shows respect. It keeps the conversation balanced. Now let's connect these ideas. You are in a conversation that flows naturally. Plans are being made. Ideas are being shared. And you move through it without hesitation. That is the goal. Not perfect grammar, but natural flow. Now let's introduce a slightly more personal expression. To be honest. This phrase signals something important. It prepares the listener for your real thoughts. To be honest, I've been feeling a bit tired lately. This is not just language. It is honesty. It is connection. Now imagine a deeper conversation. You are talking about life, work, or personal experiences. You use phrases like this to express yourself clearly. And something changes. The conversation becomes more meaningful. Now let's continue expanding. I'm not sure. This phrase is simple, but incredibly useful. Instead of forcing an answer, you stay natural. I'm not sure. I need a bit more time to think about it. This shows honesty and confidence at the same time. Now think about this. Fluency is not about knowing everything. It is about handling moments when you don't know something. That is what makes communication real. Now let's move into a longer flow. You are talking to someone about plans. Do you feel like going out later? I'm not sure. I might need some rest. That response is natural, flexible, human. Now let's introduce another useful idea. I'd rather. This phrase allows you to express preference clearly. I'd rather stay home tonight and relax. It sounds calm. It sounds confident. Now imagine the full conversation. Do you feel like going out? I'd rather stay home tonight, to be honest. Notice how natural that feels. No complexity. Just clear communication. Now let's pause for a moment. Take a breath. Think about what you are hearing. You are not memorizing isolated words. You are experiencing how English flows. And this is what builds real fluency. By now, you may notice something subtle but very important. You are not just hearing English. You are starting to feel how it works. Real conversations are not perfect. They are flexible, emotional, and sometimes unpredictable. That is why certain phrases become extremely useful. Because they help you react naturally, without stopping to think too much. Let's explore one of those phrases. I see what you mean. This expression is powerful because it does more than show understanding. It shows that you are actively listening. It creates connection between you and the other person. Imagine someone explaining a situation that is slightly complicated. You don't just say, okay. You respond with intention. I see what you mean. That situation sounds quite challenging. That response adds depth. It shows empathy. It keeps the conversation alive. Now let's move to another important expression. It depends. This phrase gives you flexibility. Instead of giving a fixed answer, you create space. It depends on how much time I have, or how I feel later. This kind of response feels natural because life is not always certain. Now imagine a real situation. You are discussing weekend plans. Do you want to go out this weekend? It depends. I might need some time to rest after a long week. Notice how the conversation remains smooth. There is no pressure to decide immediately. Now let's go deeper. There's a chance that this phrase allows you to express possibility without commitment. There's a chance that I'll be busy tomorrow, so I'll let you know later. This is how people speak in real life. They leave room for change. Now let's build a longer interaction. You are talking to a colleague about an upcoming plan. Are you available tomorrow afternoon? There's a chance that I'll have a meeting, but I'm not completely sure yet. That answer is realistic. It reflects uncertainty in a natural way. Now let's continue expanding your ability to react. That's a good point. This phrase is often used in discussions, especially when someone shares an idea you hadn't considered before. It shows respect, and it helps you engage more deeply. For example, I think we should finish this earlier than expected. That's a good point. It would give us more time to review everything. Now the conversation becomes more collaborative. Let's move to another useful phrase. I didn't think of that. This expression shows that you are open-minded. It makes the conversation feel more human. Now imagine combining these ideas. That's a good point. I didn't think of that before. That sentence feels natural and complete. Now let's transition into a slightly more emotional tone. To be fair. This phrase is used when you want to look at a situation objectively. To be fair, everyone was under a lot of pressure during that time. It softens your opinion. and creates balance. Now let's build a deeper conversation. Two people are discussing a difficult situation. I think the project didn't go well because of poor planning. To be fair, there were many unexpected problems that affected the outcome. This exchange feels realistic, balanced, respectful. Now let's move into daily life again. When you want to delay something politely, you might say, "I'll get back to you." This phrase is extremely common in both casual and professional settings. "I'll get back to you after I check my schedule." It gives you time, without ending the conversation abruptly. Now imagine a longer scenario. You receive a message about a plan. "Can you join us later?" "I'll get back to you in a bit. I need to finish something first." That response feels natural and polite. Now let's go deeper into expression. "It's been a long day." This phrase is not just about time. It expresses feeling. It suggests tiredness, effort, experience. Now imagine the tone. "It's been a long day. I think I just need some rest." That sentence carries emotion. Now let's connect more ideas. After a long day, you meet someone and talk. "How's everything going?" "It's been a long day, but I managed to get everything done." That response feels complete, balanced, real. Now let's shift into a more reflective mode. "I've been thinking about." This phrase allows you to introduce deeper thoughts. "I've been thinking about making some changes in my routine." Now the conversation becomes more meaningful. Let's continue building this. You are having a calm discussion. "I've been thinking about improving my daily habits." That's a good point. Small changes can make a big difference. This is how conversations evolve naturally. Now let's step back for a moment. Notice how these phrases are not complicated. But when combined, they create powerful communication. You are not just speaking. You are expressing ideas, emotions, and reactions. And that is what fluency really means. Now let's move into a longer storytelling moment. Imagine you are walking home in the evening. The day is slowly coming to an end. The noise around you begins to fade. You reflect on your experiences. You think about the conversations you had, the moments where you felt confident, and the moments where you hesitated. But instead of focusing on mistakes, you notice progress. You realize that speaking feels slightly easier than before. You don't need to think as much. Your responses come more naturally. And that is how improvement happens. Not suddenly, but gradually. Now take a breath. Let everything settle. You are not just learning phrases. You are building a new way of thinking. And with each session, you are getting closer to fluency. You've been listening for a while now. And without even realizing it, something has started to change. At the beginning, you were probably focusing on each sentence, trying to understand every word. But now, you are following the flow more naturally. This is how real progress feels. It doesn't arrive suddenly. It builds quietly. Now let's move into a deeper reflection. Imagine a moment in your life where you had to communicate something important. Maybe you felt unsure. Maybe you hesitated. You wanted to express your thoughts clearly. But the words didn't come easily. That feeling is familiar to many people. But here is the truth. Fluency is not about speaking perfectly. It is about continuing even when things are not perfect. Now let's bring in a few final expressions that are very useful in real conversations. At the end of the day. This phrase is often used when you want to summarize your thoughts or express what truly matters. At the end of the day. What matters most is that you keep improving. Now consider another phrase. That's exactly what I was thinking. This creates strong connection in conversations. It shows alignment. Now imagine a situation where someone shares your idea. I think we should focus more on practice. That's exactly what I was thinking. This builds agreement naturally. Now let's continue. Let's see how it goes. This phrase expresses openness and flexibility. Let's see how it goes. We can adjust if needed. It removes pressure and allows things to develop naturally. Now let's move into a full storytelling flow. Imagine a quiet evening. You are sitting alone, reflecting on your journey. You think about where you started. At the beginning, everything felt difficult. Listening was challenging. Speaking felt uncomfortable. But you didn't stop. You kept practicing. Even when it felt slow. Even when it felt repetitive. And now, something feels different. You understand more than before. You respond more naturally. You feel less afraid of making mistakes. And that is progress. Now imagine a conversation happening in that moment. Someone asks you a question. You don't panic. You don't freeze. Instead, you take a breath and respond calmly. I'm not completely sure, but I think I understand what you mean. That sentence is not perfect, but it is real. And that is enough. Now the conversation continues. You ask a question back. You react. You engage. And suddenly, you are no longer just a learner. You are a communicator. Now let's slow things down. Take a deep breath. Let your mind relax. You don't need to remember everything. You don't need to be perfect. You just need to keep going. Because fluency is built step by step. Day by day. Conversation by conversation. Now let's bring everything together. You have learned phrases that help you start conversations. You have learned expressions that help you respond naturally. You have experienced how English flows in real situations. And most importantly, you have trained your mind to stay in the conversation. That is the most important skill. Not vocabulary. Not grammar. But the ability to continue. Now imagine your future self. You are speaking English comfortably. You are expressing ideas clearly. You are connecting with people naturally. And when you look back, you realize something simple. It didn't happen overnight. It happened because you practiced. Because you stayed consistent. Because you didn't give up. Now, before we finish, let's take one final moment. Just listen. You are here. You are learning. You are improving. That is enough. Keep going. Keep practicing. Keep building your confidence. And remember, at the end of the day, what matters most is that you continue. Thank you for being here. Thank you for practicing. And I'll see you in the next session.